I have my work area set up here with everything that is on the list. Read through the preparation instructions before you actually start that to familiarize yourself with the steps. I have taken white artist tape and I've taped all the way around the watercolor paper, overlapping onto the paper just about 1/4 of an inch. Now the watercolor paper has already been wet, and I used a large flat brush, dipped it into the water, and just stroked back and forth over that, and then allowed it to dry. Then I'm going to take a round watercolor brush, and I'll put a little bit of water on the yellow, the black, the green, and the blue. I'll put a little bit of water here in the center, and I've also put the granulation medium into the center mixing well. Take a little bit of the black, a little bit of the blue, and I'll mix it all here into that center well. A little bit of the green, and I want a fairly dark mix. I don't want it transparent. Now if you let this set very long, it will start to settle into the bottom. But the reason that we use the granulation medium is so that the colors pit and pool and separate as they dry on the surface. I'll start down here at the bottom. I'll wet the paper just with a large flat brush. A little bit of a hair that fell out of the brush there. And then while the paper is wet, I'm going to start at the bottom right about in the center, and I'm going to pull up the sides. You'll probably be able to see on mine how the watercolor is already starting to separate. And I did like that effect in my final finished piece. Now, if your paper starts to dry before you get this done, you can come back in from the top edge with just a little bit of water. Rinse your brush out, get a little bit of water, and pull from the top edge to re-wet that. Now rinse the brush. I'll pick up some of the yellow. And with the yellow, I'm going to come up here on the upper right area. I'll coax the two together. And then while this is wet, I'm going to take a tissue, and I've got the drawing out here. And starting up here in the top, I'm going to blot right where that iris is going to fall. And I'll come here and blot where this one is. And this has to be done while it's wet. And if you don't do this, the colors on the iris won't be really clear and bright. Like tissue's just about saturated there, so I'm going to pick up another tissue, crumple it up. I'll come into this area. And I'm just using my drawing on here for placement. Then you're ready to let that dry, and after it has dried, you can then put the drawing onto the watercolor paper.